Hello and welcome. So I'm doing a quick demo of this Yamaha DG80 amp, made famous by none other than Mr. Alan Holdsworth. If you don't know him, he is an amazing guitar player. So take a minute and look him up. His music is not really my thing, but I liked his tone, so I decided to kind of mess around with these amps for a while. And I have two of them for sale. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this demo is to, one, demonstrate this amp, and two, show you the condition and everything else. But also, there's not a lot of demos about these amps hanging around on YouTube, so I just figured I'd throw one up. So, but as far as the overall condition of this amp, it is in excellent shape. There's not a lot of wear and tear on it whatsoever. The corners are in excellent shape here. All the Tulex and stuff like that, there's no major tears or anything like that. Let's see here. I'm trying to think if I can let you look at one that I'm aware of. There's one tiny little spot on the side here. I apologize, I don't have very much room. So I hope you can see that, and hope I'm not just slinging you around everywhere. So, but as far as that goes, it's in excellent shape. There's no tears or anything of that nature in the speaker Tulex. And so this is an excellent amp. It really is. I'm selling this amp because I have an amp made by none other than Mr. Bob Jicko. If you've seen some of the videos on the channel, then you've seen kind of me using that amp a little bit. And so I'm selling because I just don't use these amps anymore. They just kind of sit around, and I'd like to keep them, but no point in really keeping them, I guess, if I'm not gonna use them. I'll probably regret selling them because I have two of them, and I'll use them, and could have used them in stereo at my church or something like that. But anyway, yeah, hopefully as you can see, this amp is in excellent condition. One of the really cool things about this amp is that it's a solid state amp, and what you put in is what you get out. So there's not a lot of sag, so-called sag, I guess you could call it, in the tone, say like a tube amp would have. And it's got a few different presets, and it's got a few effects in here, and I'll show you. Well, I really only use like one or two presets on this thing, but it sounds very, very good, and as you'll see here in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in a tripod, and I will be back in just a second. All right, so I have returned and have you in a tripod now, and hopefully you can see the settings on the amp and you're not just staring at the floor. It's as low as I could get that tripod to go, though. But so anyway, here's the preset that I always use. It's pretty much the only preset that I use on this amp. It's like amp number one here, and some of the others sound okay, but I think this is by far the best. So. Just a little. Okay, so just a very nice punchy sound, and I can use my volume to control the gain. It's kind of like what you get in, you put out. For example, a lot of tube amps have, I guess, what's called sag, which is where your notes kind of turn to mush. And I've seen this especially when trying to do hammer-ons. But with this amp, you really get in. All comes out with, not much effort. But that's one of the things that I really liked about this amp. Picking and stuff like that. It's just all comes out. There's no it's very even, if that makes sense. Alright, so that's basically the main preset that I use. It's one of the things that's going on underneath the hood on this amp, and it's built directly in. You don't need any kind of effects pedals. I do have reverb going. Which, I always have a little bit of reverb, but one of the things that's going on in this amp that's it's not immediately obvious, and it would be this right here. And notice that when I hit that knob, the knobs over here move, and they kind of indicate the preset, kind of where your effects are and things like that. So the only other effect I have on here is a little bit of delay, but it's so light, and that basically all I'm using it for is to almost double my tone in a sense. So let me just turn up the volume of the delay, and now this is a little too processed, but you can hear what it's doing. Kind of sounds like I'm in a bathtub playing here, but if you turn it down and you have it just right, that's still a little bit too processed, but so the reason that this works is because in this particular amp, most of your digital delays and your pedals, and probably a lot of your rack units too, the delay repeats. You can only take them down to maybe 12 milliseconds, something like that. Now if I turn the repeats up on this delay, it's just a standard delay. Nothing special. Typical delay, and you have your standard repeats as far as that goes. But I can take this down to something crazy, like where it's just literally milliseconds, maybe 5 milliseconds apart from each other. And so again, that's just gonna fill out my tone. People like Sean Lane and Alan Holdsworth use that to a great degree, and that's a little too processed for me. So turn it down just a little bit. That's probably about where I like it. You really can't even hear it. just makes this amp just incredible. I really, when I sit here and play it, I'm not even really sure I want to sell it. I'm probably going to regret it. But like I said, I've had them sitting around for about a year, and just haven't used either one of them. So excellent amp. And I'll quickly run through these other silly little presets. This amp does have other amp models built in. I mean, they're okay, but like I said, the first one here is what I use. So let's just, that's kind of the second one. Really turn that up a little bit. Kind of works. Some people may like that, some people may not. Just kind of run through these others. And let's see. So then you have clean, and it works. I mean, decent clean tone. But again, I mostly just use this amp for tone out there. And I'm sure those other amps probably could be made to sound, pretty good with, EQ changes and stuff like that. But this is definitely my favorite, and you can always plug it into an extension cab. There is a built-in speaker out, or a speaker simulation on the back of this amp, which actually does sound very good as well. I don't have a recording of it, but if you're looking to just record, you want to plug directly into an interface, that does work as well. So, but anyway, yeah, if you have any questions about this amp, feel free to let me know. And again, I am selling this amp. It'll probably be listed on Reverb or eBay or whatnot. So yeah, get in touch. And again, hope you got something out of the demo. I didn't really have anything specific planned, but yeah, this was one of Fallon Holdsworth's favorite amps, and you can definitely hear it in his tone. And surprisingly, these amps, they're slightly heavy for what they look like. Just a 1x12, but they're probably 60 pounds. So, but anyway, yeah, hope that helped a little bit. And feel free to get in touch.